Good morning, everyone, and welcome in to the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. And in this morning's update, we're going to go over a couple different topics of concern here. First, we'll look at XRP's price action, which is up 0.41% today to the 49.25 cent level. We'll also go over the fact that Ripple, one of Ripple's top lawyers, talked about how the SEC is fuming right now. So we'll read what he has said, and we'll also go into a little bit about how there is no settlement offer for Ripple. The SEC was simply stating that Ripple's $10 million total fine that they would be willing to pay in a settlement that they thought was relevant at a just over 1% clip. The SEC stated in the official document that it would be over 11%, and the disgorgement alone Ripple would have to pay is $102.6 million. That doesn't count any other fines, and it was not a settlement offer, as it said at the very bottom that this wouldn't even be satisfactory to meet the demands. So all the misconception out there, it's just people running with the story, not actually reading the official document and seeing what it did. We've done our due diligence here, so we know the truth. There's no settlement in place. There's not even an offer in place, and the 102.6 million is not even satisfactory yet. It doesn't add anything else but disgorgement. So be very careful. That opening, I appreciate that opening and saying it just like that. And the reason why I did before, but I kind of went away from it. And my son, I noticed, and he's almost 5 now next month. He was just in the hospital 8 days and such, and he's on the spectrum, so he does things a certain way, and I noticed he would only watch my videos, besides my 60-second shorts where I would start out with XRP Future Millionaire. He would only watch my videos long enough to see if I was saying how I did my opening just now. So for my son, I'm always going to start out like that now, because he likes that little message in the beginning, and I like seeing him smile and laugh every time I say it. So that's the opening, and I do like it. We'll still see, you know, my the video, but as far as what I say when I start, if you're wondering why I say that, it came together to me over a series of years, and then seeing how he reacted to the ones when I was doing it, I really appreciate that. So if it's bringing that kind of a, you know, positive vibe out of him, it can bring it out of somebody else as well. And remember, we've got a long journey here with XRP. Our destination is one thing, but it's never about the destination. And take this into your normal life. Outside of crypto, it's never about the destination. It's about the journey. Because there's going to be a lot of people at the end of the destination that join late. But imagine the ones who are there within the destination, and all the memories and all the ups and downs and all the sorrow, misery, and then all of the joy and jubilation that comes with it. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. Please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this update. By you hitting that like button allows new and older viewers to find their way back into this community. And I think we have a lot to offer here, and I think a lot of you have a lot of wisdom to offer as well. So XRP is up 0.51%. Right now, we did break out of the short-term consolidation. We had 2 targets here, and we talked about yesterday in the live, if you weren't a part of it, very deeply. And I seen it got 1,000 views, which is nice. It's nice to see 1,000 people watch the live at least. A little bit over. But we had the target. We talked about 505 very distinctly, that if it got up to 505 and it could get over and hold, we might be able to avoid a back test back down here at the 481 level. Now, we also could have hit and held the 498 level and used that as a layer of support, but we haven't done that yet. But we've also established now a layer of support here that could stop us from going all the way back down. But we have a couple golden crosses here that are nice to see. 30 and 45 minute for sure. The hourly is teasing it right now after this candle close in about 52 minutes, assuming we don't fall below. So right now you would like the floor to be around 49 cents. And then if we start pushing up here, we do have some room over the top. So let's just say we get over 50 and a half. The most sense, and we've been talking about this for a few days, if we can come up just a little bit higher, we would in fact come past this very important resistance at 526, and then maybe, just maybe, we could start to push up in a unified fashion. But we would have to come up, and this is a very important level on the chart. If you want to make some kind of push at the cup and handle resistance point for the first time in quite some time, we haven't made a run up here since March. So it's been 2 months now of consolidation. We've already hit support down here. So since we hit support, it's been since April. March. It's been April, May, June, July. About 3 months. Almost 4 months now, actually. And then since here, it's been about 2 months since we hit support, is what I meant to say. So now we've got this big resistance we'll have to pass at 52.6 cents. But we can only come through there if we can pass this 505. It's such an important level. That's why we put it up yesterday. Such an important level to get past. So that's what we're looking at here. We're looking to see if we can get past these levels. And right now, at least, we put in a little bit of a bullish narrative because we broke out of this pattern consolidation. And it wasn't to the downside. To the downside would have brought you around 42 cents. About 42.4. So that's good to see at least how we've moved this weekend. And instead of breaking down further, we are able to break up a little bit. I'm going to continue on, but some of us were talking about Hbar last night. And we talked about the possibility. If it didn't hold, it could come down to this 8.351. And we were very interested to see if it came down there, if it could, or if it held the consolidation. I think there was a spot at 8.43 or 8.44, but we were suspect that it couldn't hold that. So we were looking down here to see if this bottom would hold. And so far it has. And if it does, we're trying to determine whether or not Hbar is going to have some kind of rally as well. It would have to break up and push past this 872. But the first sign here that something could happen is the fact it didn't let 836 fall. So that support seems to be a strong bottom right now. And let me put this properly. I don't know why it moved on me, but it's probably because I was looking at this earlier on my phone. And sometimes when I look on my phone, it's a lot smaller to look at, so I'll move the arrows on it, or the lines on accident without even noticing. So right now, if it were to push up, it's right around 875. It would have to break before we could even talk. A lot have talked to me if it could have a reversal. 875 would still have to fall. The only good thing that's happened here, and it's like we talked last night with the Hbar, if Hbar could hold and not give way this area, it would be a huge sign of support. Because this was a flat double bottom here, it looked like. And don't get me wrong, it can work its way down into there, but we were talking about possibly, even if it was bearish, coming up for a rejection. And right now, it looks like it's trying to garner a little bit of steam here in the 30-minute. Where's it at? It's at the 8.534, so it's trying to garner a little bit of steam. And this is what we were talking about yesterday, if there was an opportunity, if it could hold. But see, it didn't even come down, so if you're waiting for this 8.35, it only came down to 8.39. So if somebody was buying there, it wouldn't even have come far enough down. So, but there was an opportunity watched last night to see if something was going to happen because it was so oversold. It was so oversold in the daily. The 4-hourly is getting there again. It was massively before, but it looks like it just needs a little bit of a relief rally here, just so that it can get rid of some of the liquidity up here. I think it could use this top end liquidity to make a further drop down, if that is what the pattern makers are trying to do here. So just pay attention to Hbar as it's moving up a little bit here, as it's up about 0.64% all of a sudden here. And now it's up to the 8.54. So I'm going to be interested. We'll take another look at that before we leave, but it's interesting to me because we were talking about that last night, as it was one of the ones that were running a little opposite of the rest. And if it could hold that support structure, that it could possibly make a run. So we know about XRP. We know about Hbar now. It's good to see that the XRP Bitcoin pairing had a nice little move yesterday. It moved up over 6% from its low. But we'll take a look at that after Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's making a little move today, up 419.75 up to 66,648. It's up about 0.63%. But the point is it came all the way up from a bottom here at 65,102. And that could have been a make it or break it on Friday. Right now, though, it's pushing back up. And a logical resistance here in the 45 would be right here at 67,174. But that's kind of cheap to do it like that. I would look at the 2 hourly if it could take shape on the 20-day. And Bitcoin could run its course to 68K. Otherwise, Bitcoin, if it wants to push past bullish, or break back bullish, I should say, it's got to come back up and invalidate the 67,544 death cross and start working up. 4 hourly's got a lot of room to run. It's got a lot of room to run. So if it does break bullish here, like it looks like it did, and it plays true, you very well could find yourself meeting at 69,500 or just the 67,500 and make it, see what happens up there. But that's a lot of maybe, it could happen. So I just like to show the daily setup here, and then we'll see what happens as far as like if we end up running or if we break down. The XRP Bitcoin pairing's down 0.4% to the 738 sat level. We had a fun live yesterday with this just because we talked about if you wanted to get out, you could. And it made a move all the way up. The technical target up was up to 762, and it hit it almost, I think it hit it perfectly. And right now it's consolidating. But we talked yesterday, and if you're new, the XRP Bitcoin pairing, we're betting on it because it was so out of whack in terms to the relation to Bitcoin. So we started to bet on I started to bet on the XRP Bitcoin pairing to buy in because the ratio was out of whack. So it afforded me 10,400 more XRP to bring my total to over 22,000. But I can also sell it out back into Bitcoin if the ratio works back into the XRP's favor, and you would get more Bitcoin and it would give you more money. Or you just hold it for XRP, and it's just like the gold-silver ratio. You start playing the ratio against each other. So right now, the main thing we're looking for with the ratio, and we'll talk more about this in the live like we always do. I only spent like a minute or so during the updates on this. But right now, it's can we hold 740, and right now we're slightly below it. So we need to either hold 740 or we'll come back down and see if 724 or possibly even where we broke out from. So we really wanted to hold the 740 area. That was our speculation number. Now, I don't have to speculate. The actual support here is at 736. So 736, if we can hold, you're holding the support structure. If not, there's a real chance that we would come way back down. You might have to come all the way back down to 715, and that would just basically invalidate the whole move. Well, it wouldn't invalidate it, but it would have filled out the target. Then it would come down to prove that after the breakout of this bull flag that it could hold. But now it's almost questionable that we're creating its own little formation here. So we'll talk more about this in the live later, but just for your own sake, watch the 736 and we'll see something, because just what I'm kind of seeing here. What if it started to do something like this on this consolidation? Because we had a top wick, but then when it came back down, it hit a resistance, back around resistance. And then over here, it's doing something like this. So I'm trying to see if maybe the consolidation could bring us down to like 734, but this is all speculatory. We don't have any data points here to kind of really help us with this for a third one on each side, so we're just speculating. So that's what it looks like the consolidation's in, and as long as it holds that consolidation, it should continue its little bullish tug. Otherwise, if not, it could come all the way back down to the 715 to decide. So we talked about Bitcoin, we talked about XRP Bitcoin pairing, we talked about XRP, we've talked about Hbar 8528 when we talked. Yeah, see, it looks like it's trying to have a little bit of a bullish push here now. Interesting. So yeah, this could play out like we talked yesterday, and it really could. If it gets a little bit of a bullish proposition here, Hbar could make a run up at least to the 200-day up here at 871. It was massively oversold yesterday. Or massively undervalued yesterday, and we talked about as long as this support structure held, it had a chance. So just pay attention to Hbar. That's pretty interesting what's happened here. Especially since I've been on my update, because it was sitting around the 848 level, and now all of a sudden here, the half hour and the hourly is starting to break a little bullish. That's pretty interesting for Hbar for anybody who's looking at that. So now we got to do a little bit of reading. My cat is meowing on top of my house for some reason. I don't know. I just jumped down. My cat likes, you all know Ghost. Ghost likes to jump on the house. And then it meows at everybody from the top of our house. And then it jumps back down. There's a way to get up. So, with that being said, if you are looking to trade XRP, before any more major moves, or you're trying to figure out a way to accumulate or a site to buy, look in the video description below and or pinned comments. There's BITUNIX. In the USA, lowest spot and leverage trading fees. You don't need a VPN, but you can trade it worldwide without a VPN. So just take a look at that. Lowest spot and leverage trading fees. You're not going to get hammered like on Uphold. So if you only know how to trade in the USA and Uphold, look in the video description below and or pinned comments. Save yourself a lot of money. You'll be able to swing trade and do whatever you want because you don't have to be hammered by fees. And then if you're looking for the XRP Bitcoin pairing, I buy it on MEXC. Take advantage of that there. You buy it with Bitcoin, and then you flip it over, the bought Bitcoin, into the XRP Bitcoin pairing. It gives you the ability to either sell it out into the XRP Bitcoin pairing back into Bitcoin, or if XRP has a solid run, and Bitcoin's also having a solid run, you can sell it out in value for XRP as well. So you're not hindered into selling it back into the pairing if it goes way out of whack, out of your favor. So let's read this. And then we'll release the update. Ripple's top lawyer, SEC, is raging. So please make sure as well, if you appreciate my work, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. It'll just make us part of the recommendations. It helps the algorithm. And if you appreciate my work, consider joining Tom's Army or sending one YouTube super chat per month in order to help pay it forward so I can fund this program. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there as well. Before I forget, I'm a father myself. So I'm excited to see everybody in the live this evening. Going to church here in a little bit as well. So it should be an interesting morning here. So all the fathers, have fun. Have a blessed day. And enjoy it with the kids. So Ripple's top lawyer, SEC, is raging. Stuart Elderody, Ripple's top lawyer, has reacted to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's recent filing claiming that the agency is raging. Elderody argues that there are no victims to compensate, adding that this company is currently thriving. Moreover, Ripple's top legal mind claims that the SEC has now abandoned its demand for $2 billion worth of fines and penalties. Last week, the company cited the Terraform case in a notice of supplemental authority to its opposition to the agency's motion to remedies and entry of final judgment. Terraform Labs had agreed to shell out $4.47 billion in order to settle the SEC lawsuit. The agency was originally pushing for $5.3 billion fine against the company co-founded by infamous cryptocurrency entrepreneur Do Kwon. Unlike Terraform Labs, Ripple has forced no allegations of fraud, which is why the company argues that the SEC's demands are unreasonable and unprecedented. The San Francisco-based company previously claimed that its civil penalty should be limited to just $10 million, a tiny portion of the sum that was originally requested by the SEC. However, the Securities and Exchange Commission insists that such a low penalty would not satisfy the purposes of the civil penalty statuses. The agency claims that the Terraform Labs comparison is not valid given that the corporate defendant there is in bankruptcy. Moreover, Terraform has agreed to burn the keys to all of its crypto asset securities, and two of its board members who were in charge at the time of violations will be removed. The Securities and Exchange Commission took all these factors in agreeing to a settlement and repeatedly cited them as the facts relevant for the court to approve the settlement under applicable law, the agency said in its most recent filing. So they're trying to figure out a way for Ripple to pay something here still, but you can tell they came off of the $2 billion, what they wanted in total fines. As they even said disgorgement now, instead of it being $1.2 billion just for disgorgement and things like that, that now disgorgement in their estimates would have to be at least $102.6 million. So yes, there's been a little misinterpretation or a little bit of gaslighting to the XRP holders that a settlement's been offered, because it has not. What they've said is 102.4 million is the appropriate amount for just this disgorgement alone, and not 10 million total, as that wouldn't even satisfy this civil penalty, which it already tells you the bullshit that we're in right now. So just remember not to buy into any of the BS. If you made it until the end, hashtag be better, do better. And remember, don't forget to give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and acknowledge this beautiful day in front of us. We never know what tomorrow brings, so let's take advantage of the opportunity we have here in front of us today.